I have a question for the people of Hillsdale County, and actually anyone who's listening to this video. Was Stephanie Scott the only clerk in the whole state of Michigan who actually performed her duties properly as the clerk of Adams Township in the year 2021? Let me explain what I mean by that. Whenever there's an election that involves the office of the president, U.S. senator, or U.S. representative in Congress, if it appears on the ballot, which did in the November 3rd, 2020 elections, all the clerks in Michigan, or actually I think the whole country, are required to keep those records for 22 months in safekeeping. And this is a federal law. I will actually have that law. I'll put that law in the comments. So when Stephanie Scott came to her office, that it became her duty in the year 2021 to preserve those records for 22 months. I will give you a little bit of background about Stephanie Scott. Stephanie Scott is a very competent and intelligent woman. She is well qualified from her previous work experience to be the township clerk. And she's also a woman of integrity and an honest woman. She was expected when she stepped into office as the township clerk of Adams Township, and I'm not bringing this up to make trouble for Adams Township, but this has to be known. When she became the clerk of Adams Township, she was expected to write blank checks, just sign blank checks, hand them over to the treasurer to be filled out later, I guess. But according to Stephanie Scott, this is what she was expected to do, and because that's the way they had been doing things in Adams Township, and I don't know how long. That really isn't the point. Stephanie Scott would not continue that practice. She's an intelligent woman. She wanted accountability for where those checks were going, and she wanted to know where these checks were going. So that in itself placed Stephanie in a very unhappy relationship with other people in Adams Township. So Stephanie Scott, intelligent, competent, and an honest woman, was the township clerk of Adams Township in the year 2021 for part of the year. And the records from the November 3rd, 2020 elections fell in her custody now to be looked after and for safekeeping. So on February 12th, 2021, now, mind you, the November 2020 election was certified on January 6th in the year 2021. Remember that famous day? It was certified. And according to federal law, the township clerks are to retain those records in safekeeping for 22 months from the date of certification. So 1 month and about a week after January 6, 2021, the clerks in Michigan, or Stephanie, received this memorandum from the State of Michigan Bureau of Elections in Lansing that the security of the ballots and the election equipment is released as follows. That means that don't worry about the security and safekeeping of these records. That federal law says that the clerks have to take care of for 22 months from the date of the certification, which was January 6, 2021. So basically, this is what Stephanie and other clerks were supposed to do according to the Bureau of Elections. The security of all the optical scan ballots, programs, test decks, accuracy test results, edit listings, and any other related materials are released. And she was told, or the clerks were told, because this was not addressed to just Stephanie, this was this was for the clerks. The EPB software associated files must be deleted unless it posts, then there were some exceptions. I'm not going to go into the whole details of this. I will put this document in the comments for you to look at. But basically, the clerks were told by the Bureau of Elections to delete files, and that the security of the ballots and the election equipment was released, where the federal law says you're supposed to keep them for 22 months. So Stephanie Scott, being an intelligent woman and a woman of integrity who would not write blank checks, also would not do what this memorandum told her to do, because she was intelligent enough to realize that it was her job to keep those records safe for 22 months from the date of certification, which was January 6, 2021. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about this memorandum in another video, because this is enough to wrap your minds around. I will put in the comments this document, the memorandum, and I will also expand a little bit more on this memorandum. So my question for anyone listening who wants to participate is, do you think Stephanie Scott was the only clerk in Michigan who actually did her job in retaining the, or attempting to retain the security of her records from the federal election from the year, from November 3rd, the year 2020? And in my opinion, I think she was the only person who did, the only clerk. And you tell me why you think Stephanie was not the only person in Michigan who did her job according to the federal law that requires her and all the clerks to retain the records in security for 22 months. I'll put the laws in the comments.